Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to the Lord of the Flies podcast. My name is Khalil Atwi, and today I'm joined by my co-host
Malik Al-Jahmi.
and our special guest, Amir Ali.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, Amir.
Anyways, let's begin. So, Amir Ali, today we will be having a discussion about Lord of the Flies, which was written by William Golding. I'll be reading you a quote from chapter 4, and I want to hear your feedback on it. Okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Simon looked now from Ralph to Jack as he had looked from Ralph to the horizon, and what he saw seemed to make him afraid. Ralph said nothing more, but waited while the procession came near. The chant was audible, but at that distance still wordless. Behind Jack walked the twins, carrying a great stake on their shoulders. The gutted carcass of a pig swung from the stake, swinging heavily as the twins toiled over the uneven ground. The pig's head hung down with gaping neck and seemed to search from something on the ground. At last, the words of the chant floated up to them, across the bowl of blackened woods and ashes. Kill the pig, cut her throat, spill her blood. Yet, as the words became audible, the process.
So basically, what I think about this quote is that, from my perspective, when blood is spilled, your innocence is lost. Because when you have enough intent where you can bring yourself to kill an animal, even though it has not done anything to you, in general, just blood being spilled is loss of humanity. It's like going back in society, back to the primal ways.
I really agree with you, Amir, on this topic, and I really wanted to point out that this specific quote, thank you, Malik, for having this quote on here.
Of course.
It reflects on the main idea of the whole novel, like savagery taking over civilization, as the quote literally talks about how they say, kill that pig, cut her throat. Like, you look at it and see how when someone takes over, has power, they take advantage of it really fast. Like, this is in chapter 4, am I right, Malik?
Yes, of course.
They take advantage of the power like really quick, and that's very interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you, because as we saw in the previous chapters, where Jack was first appointed as a hunter in chapter 1, I think this was chapter 1, he was first appointed as the hunters with the choir boys, and he couldn't bring himself enough intent to kill the pig, and he became obsessed with killing the pig.
Yes.
And you can really see the loss of humanity, because he was too scared at first. Now he vows to kill that pig.
Yeah, and I just want to point out how quickly this change was from being so scared to kill a pig, like you said in chapter 1 or chapter 2, into just gutting a pig at the first sight, which I think is very interesting.
Actually, Amir and Malik, I got another quote that supports our topic today about loss of innocence, from chapter 4 actually. It quotes, the mask was a thing on its own, behind which Jack hid, liberated from shame and self-conscious.
Okay.
So, this basically means before killing a pig, he paints his face in red, white and black with charcoal.
Okay.
The charcoal in red and white covers his face and acts as a mask for him, you know?
So what we can take away from this quote is like how the quote highlights the boys' descent into savagery, and that when Jack paints his face, it symbolizes the hunters with a fierce, untamed appearance. Like, it elevates themselves to look like a beast, so they can hide and camouflage to kill other animals.
I agree with you, honestly. To be honest, I agree with you fully. And I just want to point this out. Throughout all these like quotes that we have been telling each other and discussing about, we can take a lot of that from the book, and we can like infer really that like we can see the boys, the choir boys, the hunters, how they like descend into madness instead of becoming humans like they were when the plane crashed in the beginning of the book. And we can see that with the symbolism from the mask, how the mask isn't their actual face, it's like a monster that they painted on.
Like, for me, the most interesting thing about... I agree with you, Malik, but the most interesting thing about it is when they got the power, it's very interesting how they used it so fast, and the savagery just took over right away.
Yeah, it's like they abuse it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It really is.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for listening today. Just to end this off, I wanted to thank my co-host, of course, Malik, and our beautiful guest right here, Amir Ali.
Yeah, thank you, Malik and Khalil, for having me on this beautiful podcast. And thank you to the audience and whoever is watching.
Thank you, Ms. Spice and Ms. Morrison.